Incoming transmission.
Yes, we are coming back to you to talk about Star Trek Generations. Some of us with smiling, happy faces to relive the moments of the generations of the TOS era meeting TNG, and some of us with grit in our teeth going, why did we watch this one? I don't know whose is whose, but I can tell you where my feelings are, and you will find them out later on. Be sure to stick around with some amazing Star Trek news that dropped this week. And, of course, we will hop into the synopsis. Jason Roy Gaston, if you please.
Here we go. Very well. In the 23rd century, the Starship Enterprise is dispatched to the scene of a giant energy field about to engulf two ships. Point of order, it had engulfed the two ships. Did you even watch this movie? Captain Kirk, William Shatner, I am speaking, you be quiet, averts calamity, but is exposed to the field and presumed dead. Years later, the Enterprise's new commander, Captain Picard, Patrick Stewart, who is not a new commander, he's been in charge of the ship for 8 years by now, learns that one of the disaster survivors, Dr. Soran, Dr. Tolian Soran, Malcolm McDowell, plans to enter the field by destroying a neighboring star. Picard must collaborate with an unlikely ally in order to stop him.
Very
It's
ambiguous.
Skywalker, isn't it?
What?
Skywalker.
Where did you get that synopsis from? Because that's like a translation. Like someone's written in Japanese and then like translated from Japanese into English.
I used Chat GPT, man.
Did you really?
No.
My gosh, what? Yeah.
I
that
think
would
it
make
was so
sense.
dirty.
I forgot where I got it from. I know I got it from the internet. And the internet's never lie.
Since we are discussing Star Trek Generations, I have to adjust my lighting. Hold on one second. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, that's right. That's
Pretty
proper.
much. Pretty much.
Bring it back. There we go. Hold on.
Why
Oh, the star's exploding.
That's a pretty good effect.
now you're in the Kelvin era.
Captain, I sense that the star exploded. Thank you, Miss Troy. Appreciate it. Helpful as ever.
Helpful as ever. All right, let's hop into First Contact. Thanks. This is the level of class you are getting here in the Captain Squadron.
You said let's hop into First Contact. I got excited. I'm like, oh, cool. We're skipping Generations and we're going to a really good movie.
Generations is not that bad. It's a fun movie.
Okay, I will say you're right. It's not that bad. I think it honestly gets kind of a bum rap nowadays.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Mr. Hatswell, start us off. How do we feel about Star Trek Generations?
Oh dear, this is a middling affair.
Oh,
Look, it is. Look, I have said this previously, and I'll stand by. The first 10 minutes is the best introduction to a Star Trek film they've ever done. All right, so far, bang for buck, it's excellent. It just starts to go and fall bit by bit, fall off the cliff as you continue to go through the movie. It has one half of a really exciting third act and another half of a third act that is dry, boring, nothing really exciting. And the mistreatment of some of the characters I have real issues with. But it is, put it this way, it's not horrible. It's not great. It's definitely a 5 or 6 out of 10. That's probably my first contact on this.
all
But I'll
right.
get into way more why as we go along.
Good. And please stick around and make sure you hear his whys, because now we're going to hear Jason Roy Gaston.
So, I'm a little bit kinder to this movie. I think that it is above average,
Okay.
but not by much.
Mm.
It is definitely the result of too many cooks in the kitchen. because I can tell they're ticking off boxes as they're going through here. It's like Klingons, check. Time travel, check. Khan-like villain, check. Captain Kirk dead, check. Enterprise blown up, check. Yeah, Paramount gave them a list of things they had to do, and they did it. I think that the movie has some highlights. I think that it had some character evolutions that are exclusive to the movies, and it has some damn fine acting in it in times.
Yeah.
Some of which from people who are not very fondly remembered as damn good actors, but they give some damn good performances. But yeah, I would on a scale of on the Hatswell scale of 1 to 10, I would say that it is about a 6.72 for me.
So we're not that far away from our opinion then.
No, but my opinion is more correcter though.
I give this movie
in your hemisphere.
In your hemisphere.
Why are we not embiggening ourselves? That's what I want to know. Hold on. There we go. All right, there we go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's not going to do that for the next segment. Now you're getting and screwing up the producing flow. Good enough, buddy.
Fine. I don't know how to switch it.
But let the captain have his moment.
Fine.
Oh, I was going to let the captain have his
No, if I didn't get my moment, he don't get his moment.
That's fine.
I should have just started saying stuff. Hello, I have the moment now.
Your moment has passed.
It's over now.
Continue.
As I watched this again, I realized this was a lot better than I remember, but the ship looked really odd to me. I don't know what it was, but it seemed very different. I feel like it had, maybe it's because I've been spending that time in the agony booth watching the redone editions of the TNG era, but the ship seemed to be very silver and bland. It wasn't as textured as I remembered it. That being said, I really enjoyed all the acting. They definitely ticked off all those boxes that you said. That is extremely accurate. I wanted somebody to have a Shakespearean equivalent to Patrick Stewart. That type of play was very necessary for a Next Generation type of movie, and you had to up the ante. We got the one character that you never saw in TNG, and well, there's two that I think we never saw in TNG from the TOS era, and we brought them forward, and that's Captain Kirk and Chekhov. I thought that was a really nice part, but the short-lived Enterprise B was kind of rough. I did not think it was as bad as I remembered it. I remembered being very bored when I was younger, and I saw this because I saw it in the theaters in '94 as a typical. And hi, Ma, how you doing? Typical. Actually, what do you call it?
Child?
What? No. A typical
child?
No. It was a typical movie outing that we would always have. My mom's best friend Renee, myself, and I would go see a Star Trek movie whenever they would come out. It was like almost like a tradition. So it was a much better rewatch than it was an original watch. And I haven't seen this in a very long time because I lost my DVD when I moved from New York into New Jersey. And this is the first time I've been able to see it in years. I moved here 7 years ago. So it's been at least 7 years since I've seen it.
Cool.
This was the first midnight showing of a movie I ever went to.
Really?
Wow, I went to a midnight showing of this too.
Oh,
myself and a bunch of people. This was not even a scheduled midnight showing, and it's been like 30 years. I think I can tell this story now. Myself and this nerd club that I was a part of, we were doing a
fundraiser. Quadrant?
No, it's a different nerd club. They were much cooler than you guys.
Oh, hey,
we were doing a fundraiser, I think, for the boys' ranch up here, and so we all put on Star Trek uniforms, and we were going to encourage people to come in, buy some popcorn. Every dollar you spend on popcorn,
enjoy the cool.
And so we had a Klingon there, and all the custodial staff was dressed as Klingons. It was great. But since we were going to be doing that, we couldn't see the movie, so they were like, "Would you like to come see it when we test the reels before the
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
So they let us come in at midnight and watch this movie, and I was just like, "This is so cool." So it's the first midnight showing I ever got to go to. I was 18, I think. I was 18 when this movie came out.
Oh wow!
Yes, I'm old.
Yeah, I know.
What?
How did that your age?
He said, "Yeah, I know."
You know, I'm coming to New York in a couple of months, and I will remember
everybody's
this.
taller than me, so I'm like, crap. Everybody,
I'm not that much taller than you.
Point of view,
that's
Joe. When I meet you at the airport,
I'm
Joe, you remember what you said about me being old?
Oh
Fee, fi, fo, fum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he
E5
agreed.
you said something really dumb.
Jace, your first experience, you said it was midnight theater as well. For you?
Yeah, same kind of thing. But that was very popular back then, and I was
Mm.
probably in my early 20s then. So
Oh, you're older than me.
going to a midnight showing of a movie was very common. That's how we did it. That's how we rocked and rolled back then. You know?
I see.
When all the
Cool.
dangerous animals are asleep and they can safely go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. Oh,
You
good.
do not know Australia at all. That's when the dangerous ones come out.
Oh,
It's
crap.
when you take your seat and you
You-
just look next to you. There's a
The
big
sun
croc next to
goes
you, like,
down, you
"How
stay
you doing?"
inside.
I
Really?
hear Kirk dies at the end of this one. Oh my god! See, it hurts you worse than getting eaten by one. You hear they blow up the Enterprise D? Oh my god, it's gonna be great. I read the script, I did.
the crocodile speaking, apparently. So maybe he was a little bit off the inebriation.
Could have been from England. I don't know.
I remember one of the fun things I remember about going to see this is we went through New Rochelle to go to Yonkers. In New Rochelle, this is a weird, really quick story, I promise. But
You
New
already
Rochelle,
lost me. It's fine.
New Rochelle was the town
Fine.
next. I know these are ambiguous towns to you guys.
just
Both
gonna
of
do
you are
some
not
reading
from
for
New
you.
York.
Please don't click off this
Oh, is
video.
that-
You guys keep
what?
going. Oh, I
Is
think
that-
that book's
what?
really good too. That book's amazing.
They shit themselves.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they do.
Ew.
So anyway, we had to wait for the bus stop at the church that I would later become entangled with during the pandemic, and I would help the guy. You start laughing. This is good stuff. I'm helping the Lord. I'm helping the Lord reach out to His people. So during the 30 years later, during the pandemic, I would go back to this church and be their streaming consultant. So I helped everybody in that church get the word of the Lord online. So yeah, that was the story.
Great.
Next segment. Next.
This is the most giggles I've had all week. Thank you guys. All right, well, let's hop into pros and cons.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
All right.
All right. Who's going first? I think I should go first because you guys have lost control.
Yeah.
You've lost control. So where am I number? No, I'm number 3. Look at that. There we go. Here I am. Pros and cons. Let's get into the pros. The first 10 minutes, phenomenal. Let's face it, the whole Enterprise B sequence was handled really well. And really, without this opening, we would have got no real emotionality, I think, from Kirk, because it's all really kind of packed in here. Wonderfully done. And designed Excelsior class Enterprise B, I believe.
Yes.
One for Jace. All right. No, I thought it was really great. A lot of tension. And let's big shout out to some of the actors in there, especially Cameron from Ferris Bueller, the great Alan Ruck, putting on a performance as a Starfleet captain who should have never been captain. Because the first time something happens, he flips it. I mean, in fact, here's a picture here. I mean, that's the face he makes when he realizes that they're emergency call. That's the moment.
The woman on the left, by the way, I think her name is Jeanette Goldsmith. She played Vasquez in Aliens.
Well, if you know, actually, I wanted to. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know what edition you guys saw of this movie, but I got to see, and it was really great. Those 3 characters, I got to see what they were doing before.
Oh.
They were on the bridge of the Enterprise B, so I'm not sure Paramount's going to kill me for this, but let's start it off with, Jeanette Goldstein. When it started, she had a pre.
Look, man, I only need to know one thing: where they are. Anytime, anywhere. Right.
So she got on a better class of Starship after that. So
Yes, and she changed her ethnicity too, which is very
Yes.
interesting.
It's amazing.
yeah.
In the,
But
in
it's
the 80s, white people could play Mexican. Fine.
But that captain really should have gone with his instinct about being the captain of that ship because this was him earlier in.
This is ridiculous. Okay, I'll go. Shit.
He should have stayed home.
Nothing-
And then
nothing's installed.
finally-
We'll be ready till Tuesday. Nothing's installed.
Yeah. And then, of course, finally, we've got the last actor on the left, the great why am
Tim
I going
Russ.
blank? Tim Russ,
Tim Russ.
of course. Yeah, who was thankful to be on a starship because he was planet bound last time we saw him.
Found anything yet? We ain't found shit.
Now that's the type of comedy we do here at Captain Squadron.
I was just thinking, if you were not going to play that clip, I was going to
Yeah.
be disappointed in you.
It was all built around that. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But going back to that opening, really fantastic. Best opening out of a Star Trek movie. Okay, that was my pros. My cons are many in this, and really, and I said it to Jason yesterday privately, but it just feels like this movie sets up these great ideas and themes, and it literally ends on a rickety bridge on a rock planet. And I think the biggest problem I have with this movie is the third act. We are split in the middle with an exciting crash, but yet a really lackluster ending with Picard and Kirk and Soran on that planet. I'm never built on that Kirk's death feels meaningless, even though it isn't, but it just feels like that. I'm not attached to his death. However, I will give him a moment because he has the most haunting moment just before he dies when he goes, "Oh my." That stuck with me. I like that choice.
George
But
Takei's
yeah.
at home going, "That's my line.
Damn
Damn you, Bill. Damn
but
you."
it's haunting, right?
It's
In
very
that moment, it is. Yeah, look, Data's, I went back and forth on Data's plot about in the
Eddie.
relationship, but I support it now, and I think they handle it really well. And Brett Spiner, you could tell he was having fun, so good
Yeah.
for him in that. But yeah, mostly it just rang flat to me. And it's not the actor Malcolm McDowell, but it's just what they did with Sauron. It was like there were moments where you could see a glimmer of him being really evil guy. But I found myself, and this may say something about me, going, why don't we try to help the dude get to the Nexus without causing a problem? Couldn't we grab him and say, all right, let's get to stellar cartography. We can't do this system, but maybe there's 6 systems down the way that we could sort something out. So it just seemed, I don't know, holes in the plot. So, but overall, yeah, it tries to do too much. It tries to pass the torch, and it tries to give this story, and the two don't meet. Honestly, if it was me, I would have killed Kirk at the beginning and be done with it.
Oh.
That would have been my bold choice, because that death, to me, was an honourable death.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel it's not that it's not honourable, but I don't feel the weight of that death at the end as much as I feel it in the beginning. And I think that's some of the problems there. Little things, though, that kind of bugged me throughout this film is just some silly logic things. One of the things I picked up was, when they're going and they're crashing on the planet, and you've got bloody Riker there, bracing for impact. Get ready for bracing impact. No one ever braces for impact.
They go flying.
They never listen to anyone.
Never. No.
At all. But
What are they
that's
supposed
where
to brace with, though. There's
Yeah.
literally nothing there to brace with.
That's why there needs to be an audit by a Work Health and Safety Organisation from Starfleet to go through and do something. I mean, these guys, if there's any jerky moment, why isn't there like an emergency transport and they're transported to something, or something on their suit that just encases them or something? Like, come on, be better with safety, Starfleet. All right, I'm done. Let's move on to someone better.
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's have a look. There you are.
All right. So pros and cons. Number one, a lot of people didn't know if the TNG crew could handle a movie, and this movie proved that they could. Problem is, they were never really given that many great movies. They were given one great movie and then other movies. I will say, though, that, and I know that VHS Jace is going to disagree with me, but this right here, to me, is the pinnacle, the peak of the Enterprise D bridge. I think that she's beautiful. I think that she's cinematic. I really love the way that they made her look here. To me, they made her look more real. The gunmetal gray is a little bit weird. They got rid of all the earth tones, but overall, I really enjoy this set. The first 10 minutes are great. And there's just moments throughout this movie that I really enjoy. I enjoyed Data's evolution, even though it was kind of played off for laughs. I do wish that they would have let that be more of a moment than they did. And I like Malcolm McDowell. I think he was a good villain. I just wish that they would have let him be more sympathetic because he did lose his whole family. There was a moment there when Picard said, "I don't think that your wife and daughter would like what you want," and he kind of stops for a minute and then he kind of, "Good try, but I'm going to be evil." I do wish that they had gone more with that. The movie does fall apart mostly through, and I think it is because of studio tampering and interference. Because, as I said, they had a checklist that they had to go through. They had to have the Enterprise D blow up. They had to kill Kirk. They had to have Klingons because the studio loves Klingons, which sucks because you can tell the movie got kind of overstuffed. Even though it was great to see Lursa and B'Etor again, even though they were dispatched in the most dishonorable way possible, and I don't like that. Full spread of torpedoes, by the way, is more than one torpedo effects department.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Full spread of torpedo. Pew.
1, 2.
Oh, we should really move the ship and get out of that torpedo's way. Guys, are we going to move the ship and get out of that torpedo's way? I guess we're just going to die then. Here's the part to me that falls apart is that you have this ribbon that has the ability to send you anywhere in time. Why go back to literally the last minute? Why not? Why not? Okay, I'm Picard. All right. I could go back to like literally when they arrived at the array and arrest Soran and say, yeah, he's responsible. Trust me, time travel. And Worf would have been, okay. And that would have been it. On the other hand, I could have gone back even further and prevented the attack in the first place and saved a bunch of lives. I could have gone back even further and said, hey, Renee, Robert, look, it's a fire extinguisher. This will come in handy. The dude just lost his brother and nephew and was emotionally wrecked by it, got access to time travel, and was like, oh, I guess I'll just go back about 30 minutes right before he sets off the rocket. Oh, God, Picard, give me a break. That was the worst decision ever. I'm of the mind I don't think Kirk should have been killed. If they were so intent on having it in the movie, why did they have to kill him off? It was just, like I said, it was just a list. Check, 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 check. And I'm going to build back on what VHSJ said. Why not put Soran in a space suit and just like plop him in front of the ribbon?
Because Sauron said, I've tried every other way. This is the only one that works.
Okay. But Picard was literally in front of the ribbon and the ribbon went whoosh and he was gone. Put him in a spacesuit in front of the ribbon, let the ribbon go whoosh, and he's gone. I just wanted to say, I've tried everything. This is the only way. Well, have you ever tried putting yourself in a spacesuit and just sitting in front of it? Of course I... You got a spare spacesuit by any chance? Oh, sure. I'll contact the Enterprise. Yes, the Enterprise. What do you mean she crashed? Who was driving? Troy was driving?
If it was like an Earth thing, you had to be on a planet, why wouldn't you track a beam an asteroid and put it in the way?
Exactly. Put a little dome right there. Hey, who wants to live in paradise for the entire life? I bet you there would have been like 30 or 40 volunteers on the Enterprise. Like, yeah, we don't want to be beta shift anymore. I just want to go live. Like,
yeah, I'd choose the Matrix. Yeah,
I want to make eggs in a cabin somewhere. I'm going to say it. Shatner was really good in this movie.
Yeah.
He was really good. You could tell he was putting in some extra effort because I think he knew it was his last ride. So he was really good. This is such a nitpick and I hate this, but the woman who was who Kirk kept seeing in the Nexus, I can't even remember her name. And he would just say her name.
Guinan?
Yeah, I can't remember. No, it's the woman who's like, he was in love with her. It's like,
yeah.
Guys, it should have been Carol. It should have been Carol.
Oh,
that would have meant so much more. And I think,
wow.
I think BB Beach had already passed away by this point, but they never showed her face anyway.
That's
and so, just like, oh, is that Carol? Yeah, this was the last time I ever saw her. Why not have her and Carol end up together? They would have been so great. They could have made another kid. It's fine.
It would have been.
You know what that is, Joe?
Yeah, I'm hitting it.
Sorry for enabling.
That's okay. You know
I love
what? It's
that one.
enable me. But yeah, the thing that gets me about Generations is that it is this far from being a really good movie. That far. And it's funny how much of the movie is messed up by being that far away from a good movie. I'm not even gonna say good movie, a great movie. This could have been a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yay, my turn. Woo! Hey guys, thank you for coming on. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you are listening to us on Spotify, we'd really appreciate it if one of the 40 of you that is our esteemed followers, please give us a rating. Helps us out a lot. Now, Star Trek Generations. So I think that wrapping up one of the longest arcs in the entire series of Star Trek Next Generation, the Dora sisters, I thought was pretty cool. That was something that never got resolved until this movie. So tying that bow was pretty dope. So,
human females are repulsive.
So disgusting. Yeah, I love that. I would have liked to see what Soran was doing in the 78 years or 75 years in between. Guys, can we not read a book here? What was Soran doing in the 75 years that were happening between
not putting himself in a suit and standing in front of the ribbon?
You're really like leaning on that. I don't know. I don't think that would have worked.
Because it makes the most sense.
Well,
you could have shot him out of a torpedo moments before and shot him straight into the Nexus.
If it was good enough for Kalar, it was good enough for him.
I don't think it worked that way because he would have done it.
I don't think it worked that way. They were standing on the planet and it went whoosh.
Shit. You've got a lot of trust in his explanation that he tried everything.
Yeah,
I'm questioning whether he did.
75 years. He had 75 years to try.
Okay, so he's not. Okay, who gave him his doctorate?
Oh,
we never found out.
No.
It could have been a mail-in Ferengi document, like send us 40 bars of gold pressed platinum. You can be a doctor. I'm a doctor now.
Could be. I also think one more thing about the very talented actress that played Vasquez and was one of the communicators on the ship. She was also in Titanic, and
Wolfie's fine. Come on,
the mom from Terminator 2. Yeah.
She's got a good relationship with James Cameron. She's one of the She's one of the few who wants to come back and work with him when they're done. The rest of them are like, nope, he can go to hell. I ain't going to.
I believe they might have hooked up. So yeah, there's that. Yeah. Anyway, this movie, yes, pros. Resolving the Dora sisters long stemming issue. Another pro, obviously, we mentioned Data, but Geordi having a little bit of time to shine. The cons for me was Dr. Crusher and Deanna didn't really have enough screen time to me.
She got to crash the ship.
She got to crash the ship, but what else was she doing? She didn't even go like, she didn't sense anything in this one. It was just...
I sense that you're kind of sad, Captain.
Everything.
Tell me about it. Oh my gosh, it's your nephew. That's so sad. Oh, he's dead. Oh, that sucks.
Another pro.
Look at these accident photos. He was cooked like an overdone potato. My gosh.
Oh, jeez.
If you ever get the chance to do time travel, you should go back and save the kids.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Just saying.
I just want to see that extra scene at the end, like they're on the Farragut, they're going back to Starfleet headquarters, and Data walks in. Captain, how are you, Data? I'm fine, Captain. There's just one thing I want to understand. How come you never went back in time and saved your nephew? Get me a spacesuit. Put me in front of that ribbon.
Everybody's getting the spacesuit. One of my biggest pros was the really cool stellar tachography room.
You keep calling it stellar tarkography.
It's some speech.
I just love it. I love it.
It's a tough word to say.
Yeah, stellar tarkography.
Stellar cartography.
Cartography? I thought it was
like
sea.
Oh. Okay.
Stellar tarkography.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was
asked
really
him
cool.
to join me in stellar tarkography.
Thanks, buddy.
Captain, we don't have a stellar tarkography lab. You know what I'm saying? Get down here. No, not till you say it right.
Yeah. I would be terrible.
Shove that emotion chip where the sun doesn't shine, Data.
So I thought that was really cool. It looked amazing. It was the most lit part of the movie, aside from the planetary stuff. It was very cool. It reminded me of IMAX movie. So I thought that was pretty cool. Seeing
Yeah,
Kirk
cool.
and Picard working together. If you would have killed off Kirk in the beginning, you would not have had this moment. That was the whole point of the movie.
The hardest working person in that scene is the girdle.
Yes.
Poor Captain.
Shatner is really like, he's holding it
The
in.
hell, dude. He's like, let me zip it in, zip it, pull harder. The Dora sisters that we was talking about having
Boob
that
window.
Yeah, exactly. That was
That comes in handy in battles, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Distraction.
Yes, and the amazing effects they did with Data's face when his emotion chip was just overloading, I thought was incredible.
This screenshot you got is awesome.
Okay, honestly, I said this earlier. I thought that this was CGI the first time that I saw this scene, and that was all Brent Spiner. So you know what? Kudos, Brent Spiner.
Exactly.
Jim
Mate,
Carrey,
that was some old school makeup effects with the air bubble things where they put these little packs underneath them and then they just put air into it, makes it all bubble up.
Oh,
Very
nice.
cool.
Yeah. But that face is all Brent Spiner, so
Yeah, it's Brent
all
Spiner doing his funky stuff.
yeah. So those were the amazing things for the movie. To me, there was a big lull in the middle. I felt like most of the Nexus was kind of dull. Would you really have to coerce Captain Kirk into leaving the Nexus? It's Captain Kirk.
But he's with a pretty lady.
But he wants to save the day more than
But
anything else.
he's with a pretty lady. And his
But
dog.
he wants to Kirk Fu.
But he's
And
got his
that's what he's
dog.
got to do.
He has to be convinced of that though, because early on he's like, "Man, I've done all my bit."
Yeah, but
How about
Saving the
they owe me
universe
one?
when your grandfather was in diapers. Scotty's sitting at home going, "What the hell did he just say?" That's my line.
Yeah.
I know. I heard it too. He stole one of mine as well.
That's it.
Yeah,
Kirk's just stealing all the other characters' lines.
Yeah. And, I mean, I think it was written that way because those other characters were going to say it, and because they didn't show up or didn't want to commit time to the movie or be in the movie, they ended up just giving it all to Kirk. Because I heard Spock, Leonard Nimoy, Uhura, Nichelle Nichols, and George Takei, Sulu were like, "Hey, you know what? I get like 3 minutes. Nah, I'm not gonna do this."
I'd heard they'd offered to Leonard Nimoy and then they offered it to McCoy. And those two said no, so they just went to the next two down, which they considered.
They offered it to McCoy, not McCoy. They offered it to Nimoy, and he read the script because they were not only going to offer him the part of Spock, but they were actually going to offer him the chance to direct it as well.
Oh, wow.
Nimoy wasn't happy with the script, and he said, "You know what? Spock's had his goodbye. This is really not worth it for him to come back." Leonard Nimoy, gosh, I did it again. DeForest Kelley could not get insurance because he was in failing health.
Oh,
So he was unable to appear.
Oh,
And so they got
sad.
They got Scotty and they got Chekhov and they got Bill.
Kirk,
That was
yeah.
all they were.
Which were great.
Yeah, which was a funny thing because for whatever reason, I had a butterfly effect issue where I thought that Bones was there in with the other ones. I thought it was Chekhov Bones.
Mandela effect.
Yeah, Mandela effect. I thought it was Chekhov Bones and Kirk and Scotty, and I was like, I thought Bones was him. I kept looking for Bones. Like he's not here. And then I had to, of course, Google. And as Jason said, he was not in good health at that time.
I believe that George Takei, that Sulu was going to be the captain of the Enterprise. And whenever Takei read the script and saw that he was basically going to have to acquiesce to Captain Kirk's knowledge, he was like, "Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No. I don't think so."
Yeah. But, and a very big pro was I really enjoyed McDowell as a villain. I thought he was a nice yang to yang for Patrick Stewart. I thought the two of them played off of each other very well. And his hairpiece was pretty fun. I enjoy that actor. He has a very commanding voice, and it made me believe that he could go toe-to-toe with the Klingons because though Ursa kept preventing his ultimate demise early on, which would have saved a lot of
through
people
the mating ritual. I'm assuming
through the mating ritual. Yeah,
It
exactly.
would not have survived the attempt. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So those were my pros. My one con, again, the lag in the middle just kind of went too long. And of course, it wasn't the exact same starship fight as the last movie. The Klingon ship basically exploded the same way.
It's the Star Trek 6 explosion. Yeah,
it was the same.
Which was a reuse itself, remember?
Yeah.
The reuse from 3, isn't it?
No.
Or 2?
No.
No, it was a Star Trek 6 original effect, but they reused it for generations, and they're like, no one will notice, and they're like, we got the biggest nerds on the planet. We're gonna
whoever stands out. That was a good idea. Should be spoken to, and I'm sure they will. Berman, yeah,
Berman trying to save money.
I don't know why. I just thought that was so weird, and those are my pros and cons. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk here.
All right, it's fire at will time, is it not, Capt?
Yes, it is. Here we go.
Hey, no, before we do that,
sure.
Why don't we throw to a commercial break? Because
I
do believe this week we have a commercial.
Now the universe has just gotten smaller. Command the Starship Enterprise with bridge and minifigures. The shuttlecraft Goddard manned for special missions. The Klingon bird of prey opens for action. The medical tricorder ready to handle any emergency. And Phaser with off-world adventure. All the Star Trek excitement you can hold in your hand. Star Trek The Next Generation. Inner space mini playsets with minifigures from Playmates.
Wow.
Well, I don't own any of them.
I have a couple in my closet in a box. I was going to go run and get them, and I'm like, oh, I packed them up. Darn.
I don't remember those. I remember the
commercial. They were like Star Trek Polly Pocket.
Yeah. I remember
mix a little bit of Transformers, I suppose.
Yeah, because the things turned into sick bay. That was cool. All right. Let us fire Will.
Fire it, Will.
All right. Okay, this is something I've been hanging on to mention.
Okay.
One of my other biggest problems with this film is I feel it delineates one of the greatest finales ever on television. The whole film existence, I feel, makes it so close to the end of like the series, All Good Things. A couple of months later in November, they released this film. And it was so powerful to me, I think, All Good Things. And it was such a closure that having this film so close felt like it cheapened All Good Things.
Really?
Just saying.
It's interesting. You can see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Because I don't know how you guys feel about All Good Things, but to me, it's one of the great endings.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. I love it.
But like those were All Good Things is the one where he kept jumping into the future, like through time.
Yeah, he kept jumping in time, different
and
time.
And then Q like judged him at the end again, right?
Yeah, he had this beautiful circle, like complete. Everything came together. And then a few months later, and here we are again.
Yeah.
And it feels, and I think the film suffers for that it feels like it's an outside thing. It doesn't feel as connected to the series as it could have been, believe it or not, I think.
Interesting.
Well, I wanted to throw that out there, and I thought,
it's an interesting point. I never really thought about that because it did have such a that would be like if they did another Deep Space Nine story that had like Cisco coming back.
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been 30 years. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Come on, get out. Actually, I found out
Miss Avery Brooks. Yes, I want him back.
He doesn't teach very far from where I live, so I should just go in there. Hey, excuse me, sir. Security.
Well, we got his uniform in the movie.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. There was did you guys notice the acclamation of the eras of uniforms? They had his, and then they had the classic TNGs in engineering.
I actually like that. I liked the mixture of the Deep Space Nine and other uniforms. I thought that was kind of cool.
Joe, did you see the design they were going to do?
No, what was that?
Not good.
Yeah,
really,
it was not good. It was like a subtle change to the Next Generation uniform, but all of a sudden they had high collars, and the collars were black, and then there was trimming in that diagonal. It just
kind of like yesterday's Enterprise suits.
Kinda, maybe not, but maybe kinda,
more like military-esque. Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
I like this is a better decision for sure. But like, it was interesting when Picard was on the planet, you could actually see the belt because the movie was so dark. You know, oh, he's wearing a belt. Like, I don't know why I noticed that, but then they were like, oh, he's got a belt on. Look at that.
Hey, you know what? Other thing that was really great, and I should have said as a massive pro earlier, was the fact that this is the last time, and they do it perfectly here. We get to see the model version of the Enterprise on film.
Yes, the 6-foot model, as a matter of fact.
Exactly. And the mixture of model work and CGI in this is almost seamless. And I think this is almost the pinnacle of where it should be today. That's how much standard I hold the special effects in this. There's only one CGI shot of the Enterprise.
Is actually the first time that an Enterprise. Yeah, I was about to say that, and then you just took the wind out of my sails.
Sorry, yeah,
but yeah, there's whenever actually following the scene, and whenever the scene that follows stellar cartography, that is the Enterprise that you see whenever the Enterprise goes to warp is a CGI model.
So, you know, the explosion in the first 10 minutes where they go down and see where Kirk's body is, that's a beautiful mix of a model and CGI just put over that to show the opening.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was me, if I was to make a movie, and I know some modern movies are doing it, but go with model work as much as you can and just enhance it with CGI.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. There's you know, I mean, I just thought it was great. I thought it was brilliant.
It's the best of both worlds, man.
I didn't notice. It was interesting you brought up about the texture thing, though, because I didn't really pick up on that. But I would go back and look at that.
Yeah, go back and look at it and see it, especially like when the Enterprise D is first going into warp and she turns and it's like very silver and there's very little lights. And then you watch like Picard. I know I shouldn't compare Picard season 3 to this, but like you look at Picard season 3 and even some of the next gen, because we've had to watch a few next gen episodes, but watching them on Paramount Plus, they're all the upgraded, like enhanced versions. They're not the classic ones that we've seen on when we were kids. So I'm not sure if there's a correlation, if there's like it's because it's enhanced. That's why it looks so good when you're watching it. Or
but did anybody else smile when they said, "Oh, well, that's the end of the Enterprise"? Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's getting taken away and rebuilt.
Yeah, that's right.
So we were talking about the uniforms earlier, the ones that they designed. They scrapped those uniforms like literally at the last minute because they actually shot a couple of scenes. And if you ever look at the deleted scenes on Generations, whenever Geordi's brought on board the Bird of Prey, he's wearing one of those ugly uniforms.
Oh, wow.
But since they cut them at the last minute, they did not have time to tell Playmates toys, and Playmates made action figures with these ugly.
Oh, wow.
See what I mean? Yeah, sorry, the colored, like the collars just look off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the seam now.
Oh, so they're trying to like connect it with the Captain Kirk TOS thing where the pips are opening up and they can have like a t-shirt underneath that says "Go climb a mountain" or something like that.
Totally the right call, because everybody saw that. They shot that one scene with LeVar Burton wearing the new uniform, and they were just like, "Oh no,
oh no!"
All the DS9 set, we need help.
Yeah. I didn't really like them having Geordi in that collar thing. That was really weird. Like when Ursula and the Klingons had him captive.
The bigger problem with that scene is it should have been really threatening. We should have been like thinking, "Whoa, are they going to do over Geordi here?"
No, I didn't feel at all.
That's because they cut most of that scene. There's a couple of lines of dialogue in the movie. Whenever Soran says, "Oh, his heart just wasn't in it."
Yeah,
that kind of menacing scene where it's just like, that's a weird thing to say. And then later, whenever Geordi's in sickbay, Dr. Crusher says, "We removed the nanoprobe."
Right.
What happened was, in a deleted scene, Soran injects Geordi with the nanoprobe, and then he has this thing, and he stops his heart for 10 seconds. And he starts it again. And he's like, "Now tell me what you know about trilithium. Let's try 15 seconds." And then they leave it off with that. So yeah, Geordi's getting
that would have been really cool.
Then we would have seen how menacing Soran could be.
Yeah.
We would have raised the height of how evil he is.
Yeah. And he had some good dialogue about his family as well. Yeah. So I mean, he had some dialogue about his family, Soran did. So it's like it's rounding him off as well. But we got to tick those boxes.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It would have been so difficult to write. And they had the best of the best on it, didn't they?
Yeah, they
At
had
the
Brandon
time-
Branco on it.
Yeah, they had Ronald D. Moore. They had the guys
Yeah.
at their peak in their time, coming off of like spending some of them the hot 7 seasons there, some of them 3 or 4. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It so feels like they put their heart into and everything they had into all good things, and then they were kind of told the next day, now write a movie in 3 months. You know?
This is what Paramount wants. They want Klingons. They want this. They want that. They want funny stuff. They also want this to be super dark. They want it to be original, but they wanted a villain just like Khan.
Yeah.
Well, one of you guys might know this, actually, because I think this would say a lot. Did they know they had a film coming up before they wrote All Good Things?
I believe so.
Yeah, they knew that.
They did know. Okay.
Yeah, they did know.
They knew.
Well, then that's even more of a failure on their part, because you would have thought you would have made it a bit more kind of what a great cross-promotion idea at the time. Not make it a cliffhanger, but make elements from the final episode connect with the first film.
Yeah.
And I think it's been the biggest error they did make was the lack of connectivity to the series.
Even if they had
from a story point.
Yeah, even if the Klingon sisters were to come back in the last episode and kind of like go away and not be handled, you'll get us, not get you next time here, like is that type of thing.
Hey, Jace, this is one of my bugbears at the end, and I complained to you about this yesterday, where there's an artifact. When they go to the end of this movie, there's an artifact with when Riker and Picard are walking around. Now, Picard picks up this artifact and is completely dismissive of it, which bugged the hell out of me because it was the focus of a previous episode, literally season 7 or season 6. But here we go.
Oh,
this moment here.
This is the artifact.
Yeah.
So that annoyed me, and Jason had a great theory behind it.
Yeah, because you remember in Star Trek Picard season 1, which I know was not a great season, but they introduced this thing called the Quantum Archive, and that's where Captain Picard stores all of his stuff, I'm assuming, in a transporter buffer. I think that Picard sent that thing back to Earth and put it in his archive so it would not get messed up, because he's on a starship that gets shot at. That would be like putting priceless antiques, on a battleship. You just don't do that. So he sent the real one away, got a facsimile and put it there and was like, oh, this is not real. It says made in holodeck 4. I don't think so. Bad holodeck. That's the one Barclay gummed up. Biofilter hasn't been working right in 4 weeks.
Ew.
Yeah. I wanted to pick
Barclay's
apart that
so
theory,
nasty.
and I couldn't because it's pretty airtight. He's right.
Yeah, that's a good theory. I like that.
And it makes I can sleep better at night knowing that, because I'm like, what's the deal, Picard? Like,
yeah,
because the way he kind of tosses it, but it's a fake, so who cares?
I also said that I don't think that Picard's fish Livingston was a real fish. I think it was a hologram or a robot. Because Livingston dies. He straight up dies. But if you look at the tank is like black. Like you don't see any of the decorations or anything. So it's like, oh, it was never a real fish.
Yeah.
That should be the next. That should be the next movie.
The fish somehow gets into a trans.
Meridian 3, Captain.
That's
I am Livingston. It would have been better than
Make
the
the
season.
fish evolve into a supervillain.
Yeah, there you go. I'm
then,
still waiting.
And he can kidnap Picard. They can have babies on some
Threshold,
planet somewhere and just leave them there. It's fine.
I am waiting for the Threshold babies to come back and get revenge on.
They've done too many Threshold jokes on Lower Decks. I don't think they're going to pick that up.
I mean, as a villain, it would be random,
Yeah.
So
I think they're not going to do it.
a little bit of Star Trek news. We discussed this briefly in our wonderful chat. If you want to chat with the three of us, you have two opportunities. You can join our Captain's Quadrant Facebook group, or you can join our Discord. And those links will be below. Are you guys in our Discord, or are you just chatting with me?
What? We have a Discord?
Okay, so you chatted with me, but Facebook, the both of them are there.
Well, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but Discord I'm open to.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't post anything on Facebook.
Discord?
Discord's fun. It's like
yeah, you're a non-gamer, so
yeah,
that's where it was all born from.
All right. So the big news this week, if you aren't familiar, is as
Dun dun dun.
Star Trek Starfleet Academy to start filming 10 episodes for the first season this summer.
Yeah.
They are Alex Kurtzman just has confirmed that the first season of the all-new original series will comprise of 10 episodes, with filming beginning this summer. In a recent interview with Collider at South by Southwest, Kurtzman revealed that the Star Trek Starfleet Academy is on target to film. It's kind of redundant there. And they reached the halfway point of the writer's room. So that means Tony is really banging him out. He warned fans, however, that might not see the new Star Trek series beam onto Paramount Plus for a while. Of course, it's a Flow Needs commercial. I need to get some of those. It could not end up airing until 2026. So by starting shooting late summer, just building the sets is a massive endeavor. Then 6 months of shooting and 8 months of post. If you recall, there was this noise around season 1 and season 2 of Discovery because of the streaming service, and they're like, oh, it's a turnaround on a cop show. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's months of visual effects. We're not going to rush that. So Kurtzman asserted that the series will come out, but only when it's ready. So I didn't know he had that kind of pull. I guess he's like the be all, the end all.
He does.
Huh?
To mix results, he does.
Yeah. So
Look,
they're not
at the end of the day, I'm going to make my feeling known on this. I'm rooting for it to be good, but I'm not hopeful, and because I don't trust that they're doing this for the right reasons, and I don't know. I just think Paramount at the moment is going for low-hanging fruit. I don't think it's creatively interesting either.
really.
I know it's not going to be a CW show. I know it's not going to be a team-based show and all that kind of thing. But I just feel like they're missing the mark. Paramount's not listening to the audience. The audience is screaming at them to make legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the end of the day, they should have been announcements by now. So hopefully this works out. Tonally, it's interesting with Tawny Newsome writing it. So that implies to me there's going to be a strong comedic vein through this. So I suppose that's the one little spark that I go, if it was a all-out comedy, live action comedy, action series, I'd be kind of interested in going down in that direction. But do I want to get to know a bunch of new characters and their emotional weaknesses and needs and the relationships between them? Not really.
See, that's where I think we have an opportunity, because it's going to act as a spin-off for Discovery. I believe we're going to have Tilly as your main go-to character, as well as probably appearances by Saru and maybe even David Ajala book. I think that they might be appearing in the show. So I think it's going to be like Discovery 2.0.
That's an interesting and ballsy approach by them, considering the mixed results of Discovery. Let's be honest. If you're going to go, all right, we believe in this universe a lot and we're going to continue going with it, that's great. Yes, you'll have spin-off characters, but the show will have, like I just said, all
new cast, yeah.
So, maybe I'm just being pessimistic.
I think they rewatched the episode. I don't know if you guys remember in Discovery where she was with Tilly was with the cadets. They had the one that looked like a devil, the one, the Orion, and there was the human. And I think one of them gets like completely obliterated and they had to try to save the day. I think that's where they got the idea for this, even though we have been hankering for a Starfleet Academy when Deep Space Nine ended with O'Brien going, oh, I'm going to go back and teach at Starfleet, teach engineering, because somebody's got to teach these kids the difference between a self-sealing stem bolt and a wrench or whatever. So I thought that was the missed opportunity. I'm not going to play the clip, but I thought that was the missed opportunity back in the day, is to not do the Starfleet Academy probably around the time Enterprise was out. What are your feelings, Jace? Gaston?
Looking forward to this show because it is going to be placed in the 32nd century, and I think it's a very interesting time frame to put it, because we do have a Federation on Earth that is having a renaissance, that is being reborn, and I think that opens up some very fun possibilities about what we might see. I'm going in with an open mind. They've been threatening to do an Academy movie or show for, gosh, as long as I can remember, I think that they first floated the idea around like 90 because they were going to do that instead of Star Trek 6.
Ye-
And yeah, I'm eager to see what happens. I know a lot of people dismiss it like this is going to be Starfleet 90210, and it could very well be,
Mm-mm.
but you know, we haven't gotten any casting, we haven't seen any scripts, and we haven't seen any production stills. I think it's too early to pass judgment on anything, to be honest. I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm going to say I really like Tawny Newsome,
Mhm.
and I like the idea of the show being set in the 32nd century because I want to keep seeing what Starfleet and the universe is like in the 32nd century. I want to see Klingons. I want to see Romulans. I want to see new weird things.
I want to see more of those butterfly people. You remember the
Yes.
butterfly people? Those are weird.
Weird butterfly people. See
Yeah.
what you will about Discovery. They don't mind getting weird, and
Yeah,
that's what
I
I,
like
that's what I respect about the show. They wallow in the weirdness.
Mm-hmm. Let's get weird.
I
Woo!
still think it's a misdirection by the studio.
I think
I
it's
think this show should have been the second show with another lead show. It's like, because I think when you say Starfleet Academy, I just wonder how many people are going, "Oh my God, really?" Versus they've just announced Legacy. Everyone's gonna shit their bricks. So, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't want it to be bad. I want it to be great. And I love being proven wrong. So let's hope I'm wrong. This is a fantastic series. But early on vibe, I'm not excited. And Kurtzman, if it was me, I think it's time for a change. Like the head of Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy. It's time for a change, lady.
You think it's time for her to go?
Yep, I think it's time for her to go. I think it's time for Kurtzman to go. I think you need fresh blood in there.
Oh.
And I think you've got the guy sitting there waiting to take the reins and is the right guy to take the job. And that is obviously Terry Metalis.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Who was today at the Ghostbusters headquarters for the new Ghostbusters movie, the actual fire station downtown New York City, because that movie comes out next Friday, I think.
Yeah, next week. I got tickets for it.
You got tickets already?
Yeah.
You too?
Gonna give me some tickets to it.
Maybe we should do a 1 week later Ghostbusters. It'd be fun to have all of us together chatting. That is all the news I have for everyone. I appreciate our moments together enjoying Star Trek and talking about it. And if you appreciated it, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Those wonderful little things help us so much. And be sure to ring the bell when you hit that subscribe button. That way you're notified of when we premiere our next episodes and specials.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And write awesome comments like I've written here tonight. Like all those great comments I put in the comment feed.
Yeah, comment. Yeah, chat with us. Yeah, we love
this.
We're here. We're in two places at once.
Yeah, we're amazing. We're in the Nexus, and we just dipped out to do this show. We also have, of course, the wonderful other places to find my good buddies here. And we're going to start with. So we have the stills this week. I just hope it's I think it's the new one because you're in this. So Jason Roy Gaston, go for it.
No, it's the old one.
That is the old one. Wrong address. Oh my God. Okay.
I'm removing it.
Okay, so find me at Jason Roy Gaston at YouTube, TikTok, X, and Instagram, and Clapper, and just wherever I decide to be. I have got all kinds of fun and shenanigans there. Myself and my friend VHS Jace, we just did a review of The Last Starfighter, which was it's just
amazing.
As I remember. And I just dropped my review of Kung Fu Panda 4. And I know you're all wondering, what did I think of Kung Fu Panda 4?
Yeah,
I thought of it. It is definitely a movie that exists.
Oh, wow.
That means you have to go watch it now. Also, you should be supporting Jason by buying this amazing book that he wrote that I made a little fun of earlier, but it is a great book. Go get it on Amazon.
There is a complete chapter in there about everybody pooping their pants.
Oh, really?
That legit. That joke was true. And it's a better story than what Generations was.
Hey,
I agree. I agree.
Boy.
It was.
So are we saying that these movies, like the crescendo is First Contact, and then they just? I guess you'll have to find out.
The crescendo is First Contact, and then there's an earthquake. The earth opens, and the entire orchestra is sucked straight into hell.
I
we
will
go.
say with First Contact, it doesn't have the shine and gleam that I used to think of it.
Really?
There are things in the movie that bug me now, so I can look forward to
Wow.
talking about that one.
So next month, be sure you subscribe and be
classic.
sure to join us. Where else can they find? So I'm gonna. Do we still have the? No, we don't have that. So in this room, we don't have some of the stuff that we should have.
Okay.
That's my fault. But be sure to check out our good buddy VHS Jace at.
Oh,
Pop
yes. Yes,
Talk
we
about
talk
that. They-
about
some good stuff going on
current
there.
stories in Hollywood. Yeah, really great.
Yeah.
Good fun.
Yeah, so be sure to check them out. Be sure to check out our last episode, and that is The Mark of Gideon. A lot of people really dug that one. And be sure you join the ranks
know
of those that
why.
enjoy it. There was a lot of fun to be had there. Be
Oh,
sure
we
to
were
check.
awesome.
Yeah, of
Episode
course,
sucked.
we're always awesome. Yeah. Be sure to check out our Star Trek Starships you need to give a beep about with special guest Michael Adam Goodwill from the Nerdy Up North. And be sure to check out the Sci-Fi Queens every other Friday on YouTube's. I think that's it, gentlemen.
I think we've covered it. We've covered what we
covered it.
need to cover.
Yep.
Also, follow me on TikTok too. I'm kicking butt there
Yes,
at the
please
moment.
do.
Come and
Follow
check it
me
out.
on TikTok. I have like a fraction of what they have. Just look up Joe Dub CQ. No, follow us on.
I'm appeasing my Chinese overlords. That's
Then well done, well done. You can follow Captain's Quadrant as in front of me right here. Captain's Quadrant on Twitter, Threads, and the Instagrams. So we can have a lot of fun chatting about Star Trek and memes and such. So until next time, I wish everybody peace and long life.